Welcome to Wiretapped Truths. I'm Jesse Perez with Mr. Wiretapped Truths Leland and Mr. Jack Simmons. We appreciate you guys for coming to the YouTube page, following us. The recaps that we've been getting are like good reviews as far as on my end. Two cast member interviews, seven recaps. And more stuff to come. We're thinking of content daily. We got different ideas that are gonna come to you. So with that being said, season one, episode 8, and I'll let these guys introduce themselves also.
All right, how's everybody doing? I'm Leland, as Jesse and Jack have deemed me, Mr. Wiretap Truths. Glad to be here. This is our eighth episode, eighth recap episode. We are just glad to be here. I think recently we cracked, I think it was 37,000 or 36,000 views in total on our channel. So all of the views, all of the comments, all of the new subscribers, we appreciate you all. Like Jesse said, we have a bunch of really cool content and ideas that we want to shoot, not just with us, but with people who are fans of The Wire. So if you're in any of the Facebook groups or anywhere where you've seen some of our podcasts, you'll be seeing some questions soon about people who might want to come on. Maybe like a debate style segment where we bring fans in and maybe you all debate something maybe like Avon versus Marlowe, something like that. We're thinking about a few different things and a few different concepts just to interact with people and to give you all just a different perspective of a Wire podcast. So we appreciate all the love, all the likes, shares, subscription, everything. So I'll let Jack, our resident moderator and narrator, introduce himself, and we will get into episode 8 for you all.
Hello, I am Jack, the resident narrator. Thank you for having all of us. It is great to be back, guys. Leland, I can't imagine how bad it is down in Georgia, but me and Jesse are suffering through this scorching weather. It's like 1,000 degrees every single day. I think it was over 101 yesterday, but
Please.
I am fucking melting right now. It is really wow. But yeah, man. This makes it all worth it is doing this podcast, and yeah, it's episode 8. We're getting down to.
The nitty gritty.
I was gonna say getting down to the wire, but that too. Getting down to the nitty. I set you guys up there. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty. Yeah, let's take it away, my friends. All right, season 1, episode 8, lessons. This is one of my favorite cold opens. It's at like a local grocery store. Almost looks like a farmer's market the way it
It's a
is.
market. Yeah, it's a
It's a
market.
market. Yep.
Mhm.
Um, Jimmy's there with his kids, Michael and Sean. And this shows how he's like a great father and can also be a lousy father at the same time. It works in that it's like he manages to do both in the same scene because it's great. He starts off and he's talking about baseball players with his kids, same way I would do with my dad. He's an Orioles fan, so he talked about Jeff Conine, Melvin Mora, David Segui. I caught all those references. I get it. I follow baseball. Um, and he's playing a game like guess their number on their jersey and who's who. And who does he happen to see but Mr. Stringer Bell himself? He's got to go produce shopping in the
In the
middle of
flesh.
in the flesh, in between setting up drug deals and making tons of money. He's gotta buy vegetables. He's gotta go somewhere. And honestly, and I want to say, like, this is kind of David Simon said that like the Baltimore is the main character of the show. This
Mhm.
scene is an example of that because it's like the city is the ultimate equalizer, and like it's just you go out and you can see anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. It's very possible you just happen to run into Stringer Bell or whoever, doing the same thing. And it shows that, again, it's one of the themes that everyone's similar. Everyone has the same kind of responsibility, daily activities. And so he's like, oh wow, Stringer Bell, I got to find out what car he's driving. So he uses his kids to follow him. Um, and his kids are really good at it. They take after their dad. Uh, little Mikey McNulty finds the car that he's driving. It's an old beat up Toyota Camry, a red Toyota Camry.
I think it was
Similar.
Sean. I think it was Sean.
Okay, Sean
His
followed him.
son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean followed him. Sean was the older one. Mikey's the younger one. That's
Yep.
right. Sean followed him, um, and doing a rip and run, as they called it. And they found the tag. McNulty's. They were so good at it though that they evaded the Jimmy, and McNulty's going to the security guard saying like he's describing his kids. Uh, and that's how the episode opens. And I think it's great that it opened that way instead of like them doing a whole thing where he finds his kids. They just imply that like, yeah, obviously he found his kids. We don't need to
Mm-hmm.
show. We don't need to show all of that, you
It
know.
was it was an awesome cold open, but
Yep.
I actually didn't take away like the great parenting part. I just took away like McNulty. Here comes horrible Father McNulty again. A front and a follow on
I took it as decent parenting.
you're having your kids follow like a
A
drug dealer who
criminal.
you don't know how harmful he is. I mean,
Right. Right.
he could kidnap them. He could harm them. And then
Mhm.
when he's describing them to the security guard, he doesn't even remember what they're wearing. He's like,
Yeah.
he's wearing, I don't know what he's wearing.
I don't know what the fuck he's
Aren't
wearing.
you supposed to be like an observant person? You
Right.
know what your kids put on? Um, you like, I mean, come on, Jimmy.
And then you know
I
what? That's the
just,
note. That's the note that I took
you
to
know, big,
Jesse just from that
I
scene.
mean,
Is
it was a
come on,
cute
McNulty.
moment and stuff, but as far as like parenting wise, yeah, I mean, if his wife has a legit gripe with this, with
Yeah, yeah.
this,
Oh, by the
But I
way, it's
get.
called a front and follow. That's what they do.
Yep.
I made a mistake here. Yeah, they call it a front and follow of what they do.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe I have low standards based on all the other horrible parents in this show. You know, I thought it was cute though because it's
He was
like,
interacting with his kids. Like
right, he made it into a
I
game.
get what Jackie's saying. Like
Yeah,
he was taking them out. He was doing the father thing. But
No,
then
it was,
Jesse,
but I
the
mean, if
other
you break
side
it,
of it is, come on now, what the fuck are you doing?
no,
Well,
but if you
you
break
know,
it down, it's not like I'm not gonna send my son after a drug kingpin.
yeah, but
right?
what is the Kingpin? Stringer Bell's not going to attack Sean McNulty in this story,
But
you know.
how does McNulty really
You
know
don't
that?
know that.
I mean, how well does he know this guy?
I think I don't know. I think it's you would assume that nobody's gonna like try to kill your 8-year-old son. That like, I mean, I think he would assume that Stringer knows better than to like kidnap the child of a police detective.
And he says
Yeah.
that too in court when he's talking to Elena. He says
Mhm.
like they could have been following Al Capone. It was Baltimore on a sunny morning. Like
Right.
you know, like he did mention that
Yeah.
part of it. But I get what you're saying, Jesse. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is Stringer Bell now. Like, I mean, you know,
He turned it into a game for his kids. I mean, he was doing it in a way of like, oh,
I
we
don't.
could have fun and also
I think they also. I think the writer purposely put in that scene of him not even knowing what they're wearing, paying
right.
attention to what he's wearing to show like how like non observant he is when it comes to his own children. You know.
Mhm.
Well, similar to the scene previously in a previous episode where he's kicking the soccer ball around with his kids and he has to take a call and he takes Bubbles to the soccer game, it just shows that he's unable to turn the job off. It's like
Mhm.
no matter where he is or what he's doing or anything like that, he can't turn it off. He's singularly focused on this job. It's not like it's a passion, but it's also an obsession. And
Mhm.
that's kind of like his ultimate weakness is that he's like obsessed with his job, that any opportunity he can to make progress on this case that he's doing, and it's having a front and follow for them, um or bringing Bubbles to a soccer game, it's like he will take that opportunity. And that's kind of the thing, is like he's trying to be a good dad, but his obsession with his job like overtakes his abilities to do that. And you kind of sympathize more with Elena when you see things like that, because it's like, yeah, like, I would be pissed off too,
For sure.
um, if my
For sure.
husband was having my kids follow around like a drug kingpin like that. Was I don't think she ever knew that. I
He
don't think
lied
until
about it too. He said,
yeah.
he's not a criminal. I know the guy.
Hmm.
No, you don't.
No,
No, you don't.
you
No, you
didn't know
don't.
him at all. When they went to his apartment, he was like,
Right.
"Who the hell is this guy?" It showed
No,
he
you
had
don't.
no idea who he was. Um, but yeah, no, it just it shows the both sides of him. You know what I mean? That's what was interesting to me, is like, he's a good dad. He tries to be a good dad, but he's like severely flawed in that way. Um, the opening credits come, and the quote, one of the most famous, iconic quotes from the show: "You come at the king, you best not miss." Um, it's
Legendary.
legendary. This episode, I believe, was written by David Simon himself,
Wow. Okay.
uh, and I think yeah, teleplay by David Simon.
Wow.
We got to find out what that means in the next episode, because they always say teleplay. Um, so I wonder if they had a loose script and that was like very half improvised, kind of the same way Curb Your Enthusiasm does, or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, you come at the king, you best not miss. Omar mentions that later, ties back to the chess metaphor, in the previous episodes, and that's how it starts. And so the first scene we have, it kind of picks up right where the last episode left off, where they rip the phones off of the payphones, and destroy it. So they're trying to adjust their plan. And Kima and Presbeluski says, "Well, we still have the phones in the low rises. Plus, now they're up on Stringer Bell's payphone."
Hmm.
So they're figuring what they're going to do. Now we have Herc and Carver. This is a big Herc and Carver episode. Uh, and Carver are both studying for the sergeant's exam.
Mhm.
And it reminds me of college or high school or whatever. There's
Mhm.
always those two types of people, right? The type A person who studies their ass off, studies and stresses about it, and works their way. And then during the exam themselves, they get flustered and they're frustrated, and that's Carver. He's the type A guy. Type B is Herc, who doesn't do jack shit, who slacks off, who doesn't care really, or seems not to give a shit, to be honest. Treats it kind of like a joke and does fine on the exam. And it's interesting how they have that dynamic. It's like he's less stressed out about it. Um, but he knows that like he's gonna do well himself.
Yeah,
And
it
it,
was
it also
funny.
shows the differences between them as people.
Yeah,
Uh, Prez Beluski comes in wearing a tucked in shirt. I don't know. He looks like a dork in this episode, I thought. And he says that the payphones are ripped off. So, as Freeman told him before, you got to get up on these rooftops and take photos of these guys uh, on the phones, on the phones below, on the available payphones that aren't ripped up. Herc and Carver think that that's like very presumptuous to
They shit
tell
on
us
him.
what to do.
No,
Yeah,
they shit on him. They shit
they
on him, and
shit
it's
on
funny
hard.
as hell too. It's
Rip
funny.
has a new one.
Yeah, they really do. They basically say like, "Oh, why can't you do that? Oh, wait, you're housebound. What was that? Oh, for shooting up your car. Oh no, wait, that was the other thing." Like they really,
Yeah, no,
they
they
really
shit.
fuck with them hard there.
And the thing is, Prez wasn't even being a dick about it. He was like, "Hey guys, we got to go up there."
Yeah,
Wasn't
he
wasn't
wasn't like demanding at all. He was very like,
it was solely just to show, like, and when they say, like the fucking stripes on his sleeve, it was
mhm.
solely just to show the person that's gonna tell you this afterwards, she don't have no stripes either.
No,
Y'all
yeah.
are gonna listen.
Well, that's the
Okay.
thing, is that they're so insecure about their place and about their position that even a guy making like a simple statement of like, "Hey, we need to," like, can you imagine somebody at work, like, if you were like, "Hey, we need to get these files in on time. And then I was like, who the hell are you making a demand like
Yo,
that?
that's happened to me before. I was like, I was a concierge, right, for a building, and the property manager, we hired like this supervisor. I mean, this maintenance guy, and like the property manager would ask me, "Hey, can you ask him to do this and stuff?" And I'll be like, "He's like, who's asking me, you or the property?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not
It's
making
like
up my own things to tell you."
people like that man are bizarre because they think everything is about power dynamics, whereas
Yeah.
it's not. It's about sharing tasks and responsibilities, you know? And like, yeah, they think, oh, because you're not that position, you can't tell them what to do. Similar, like Herc and Carver, they think just because you only need to have stripes in order to to have them to assign them to a task, and they think anytime they're asked to do something, even the lightest way, they take like the utmost offense to it, you know, and they're it's very like petty and insecure about it, and it's
Yep.
funny because. Presbeluski walks away defeated after being insulted by them, and then Kima just comes over and tells them the same thing in a much more like like brusque tone, you know,
Mhm.
much more commanding than Presbeluski
Sure.
was. She was just like, "You need to get up on the phone towers and take photo." Like,
And I don't really care. Y'all don't even get a chance to really even say anything to me. Get
yeah,
y'all
exactly.
ass
She
up
just
there.
walks away.
Yeah, get y'all ass up there on them towers and take them pictures. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not asking you.
right.
I'm
She's
telling
just
you,
saying
I
you
like,
need to do this, and it's
but
because they can't do anything else too. That's why
no,
they're assigned there.
and she's Daniel's right hand cop. Like she's
Hmm.
in command of the detail, her and McNulty, kind of thing. Those are the two lead detectives on the Barksdale case. So
Hmm.
they
Yeah,
ain't have
no,
no choice. What they gonna do?
they can't do anything else. That's the thing,
Right.
is that a lot of these cops are trying to find like tasks for these people to do, but like the more important work, they can't be trusted to do it because they'll fuck it up. So they're like, all right, you can take photos, right? So go up there and do it. And then they just take so much offense to that idea, like it's beneath them or something, that they. And it's funny that like it's a scene that's played as like as a funny scene, you know, you laugh when she says it, but then you see like Herc and Carver, and they don't even say anything. They're just like, this fucking guy. I find it funny in that scene too when Presbeluski walks away and Carver's like, can you believe this fucking guy? Like he just gets he's so offended, even though you just insulted him so much for like nothing. Like he did nothing wrong.
Yep.
And this is kind of the part of the season where you actually sympathize or you like Presbeluski more than these other two guys. And it's interesting how it started off. It was a complete opposite.
Yeah,
um, you got the sense that these guys are kind of corrupt and are scumbags, whereas Presbeluski seems like he's an all right guy underneath that.
I feel like for Herc and Carver, like up until probably season 4 with Carver and Herc, I don't really like them. Like, I mean, like they're
Yeah.
cool. I mean, they're part of the story. But I don't really like how they handled business, like neither one of them. Like in season
Hmm.
4, Herc is that's probably one of the most unhinged characters. We talked about this a few times. Like season 4 Herc was just
Hmm.
I don't know. I can't even put it into words right now. But like Carver started to shift in season
Yeah,
4 where he was moving a little bit differently, But like the first 3 seasons, I don't know
they're
about
just
that
kind of the
shit.
same. Yeah, you get the sense that Carver has that arc when he starts to work for Bunny Colvin
For
and he
sure.
yeah.
sees the power of Amsterdam. Um, I hope one day we'll be able to get Dominic Lombardozzi on this podcast, but if we do, we're gonna have to tell him like, listen, no offense, but we do a lot of Herc bashing on the show. Like, I think you're great. He's a great character, but we do talk shit about him almost every episode. But he
He
deserves
knows
it,
it.
you know.
He knows it. He knows
Oh
it.
yeah, he knows, and he does a great job of playing him that way. You know, he
Yeah.
knows exactly the type of character. And it's funny because after Kima says to like do this, go out on the towers and take photos, Herc just goes back to not working. He's like fucking out, and you know what I mean. Not like, oh, I'm gonna like prove them wrong. I'm just gonna continue to slack off and be pissed off about it. Um, so now we're back to Omar's apartment where they just tear the place up. Wee-Bey and Stink and Savino, and they find photos, Polaroid photos of Omar and Brandon together, and they start laughing their asses off. He says like fucking Peter Puffer, you know. That's what Wee-Bey says. Yeah, and then they go outside and we see from Omar's point of view, he's across the street, that they light of his van on fire. Omar is across the street with that woman that we saw in the previous episode, that he sort of helps her out with
Mm-hmm.
finances, and he's holding her baby while she's shooting up heroin. And I'd love to get your thoughts on the impact of this scene, but to me this was so sad because it's like I was thinking about that baby, and it's like it's so hard to escape that kind of, when you're surrounded by all of this depravity and
Mm-hmm.
drugs and murder and gang violence and all this shit. It's like you can't even be a baby. You can't even
Right.
raise a child in that
And,
kind of
and
lifestyle.
you know what, too, Jack? We'll get into it, but I'm gonna let Jesse, because I know he's going to. I'm gonna let him point out the scene about the pictures, and then we'll get into the how deep the Omar scene was. You know? I
Oh
know that
yeah,
he's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
say it.
well
Jesse's gonna say it. I know it's coming.
we talked about it with Michael, that they showed the when they're rampaging and they're like, ah, look, he's gay, and the picture they see is like the picture of like um Brandon and Omar earlier earlier in the episode 3, after they rob him on the stoop, and they just take like they just use that as the picture. It's like you guys couldn't, and it's like a show that's so attention to details. Like you couldn't just have them pose somewhere
Yeah.
else. They were there. They were on set
Because
together.
who
You
had a
know.
Polaroid camera and
Yeah,
took them
yeah, yeah.
pictures?
John Bailey. That they
Right.
asked.
It was Bailey.
Yeah.
Hey, before you leave,
Bailey
because
was
he
all
walked
creeped
off
out
with
by
it.
them, but
Like,
before he left, he took a picture of
You
them.
wanted to take a
yeah,
picture of it? Yeah.
you had the big ass camera, up in your jacket, like come on, whatever, like come on
Maybe he
now.
told Kima like, "Hey, I'll help you with your case if you take these photos of us." Like some sort of a. Yeah, it's true. It is. It's from that exact scene
Yeah, it's
beforehand.
from that exact scene. It's like it's like, yo, what the hell?
And it's great when you
Um,
think about behind the scenes because they probably took a photos of that, like had them printed out from a Polaroid, to
Mhm.
use there.
But
right,
Um,
but why choose that? Like,
right.
right,
like,
They could have went to like the harbor or something, or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
something.
yeah. But to touch on what you said, Jack, that scene, yeah, it's a very telling scene in terms of what Omar is watching. It's like he's really, I don't want to say staring into oblivion, but it does look like and the sense of just sadness, kind of
Hmm.
like just watching them do this to his house and run through his stuff. And honestly, a note I took, that moment, it goes all the way to season 5, if you think about it. So who'd you say, Jack? It was Savino, Wee-Bey,
Savina, Wee-Bey, and
Stinkum.
Stinkum.
Omar
Yeah.
kills all of them, except for Wee-Bey. I
Yeah.
mean, but he ends up killing all of them.
Right.
So that moment right there kind of sealed their fate.
Hmm.
Kind of thing.
And
Oh yeah, he's.
does
Oh,
Omar
sorry.
does Omar get high? Because
No.
she said, "Hey, Mister Omar, you
She
want to end
she
on
did
this?"
offer, but we never
Right.
see it on camera.
Yeah,
She did
but like,
offer
why
it to
would she
him
offer? Like, she knows him,
if he
and he's like,
doesn't.
"No,
Right.
thanks." I
He
don't
might
know.
do it
I
every
just
now and again, maybe.
Yeah, I
but
I thought it was weird that she even offered him.
you know what though?
Maybe
I
she just
don't
felt
think he
obligated.
does because you remember, like in the scene when Brandon and Omar kissed,
Hmm.
he said to him, Bailey's a fucking dope fiend, and then people are not to be trusted. Like
Right.
so.
Yeah,
I think she was just. I think it's maybe just drug user courtesy. Hey, you want to hit this heroin, or
yeah,
I don't know. I ain't never
yeah,
been in a room of heroin users, but I like to think,
yeah. I
hey,
guess I just
you know, they might
I thought it
offer me
was.
some of their heroin if I was in the room. Like.
Yeah, I guess I just thought it was a
Hmm.
little weird that she even offered it to him. But yeah,
But I don't think so. And him being, rest his soul, him being him fighting addiction, over his life. I don't think they would have even had him do that in the show, to be
Right.
honest. I don't think maybe they didn't know about, his addictions that were to come, and like I said,
Hmm.
God rest his soul. But I don't think they would have had him do that, in the show.
I I think I took it as more of just like she probably just felt like that's what she's supposed to do, or she felt
Yeah.
obligated or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like whatever. Like if you're hitting a joint or whatever, and you're like, hey, do you want
You'll
to hit?
ask the
Like, you know
person
what I
living
mean?
next to
Just
you,
like
I would think.
right.
I
It's
mean,
just like out of like an obligation feeling, you know. So that's what I took it as. I just I yeah, for this scene it's like you see Omar, the first time you see him like weak because not weak, but he's depressed. You see that he's damaged by what they did. He's clearly hurt by it, and like it just it shows like all this horrible shit is happening, and meanwhile he has this like baby that he's holding, and he has toys and everything, but it's like it's impossible to just like have a normal life when you're trying to have like a healthy life when you're surrounded by all this stuff.
Mhm.
But you see, like that's where his motivation comes from because they're destroying their house, and in a way, they're destroying like the memory of Brandon. Because as we kind of touched on with our interview with Michael, Omar and Brandon's love was kind of one of the very few like pure loves we see in the show,
For sure.
you know. And so this kind of yeah, you're right. It just set up Omar's like vendetta against the Barksdale crew, where now it's no longer business; it really is personal.
Probably except McNulty and Beatty season
Yeah.
4.
Oh, there are a few of them. I just think
Yeah,
each
I
one
mean,
of
other
them.
than I'm trying to, but it's not many. But like because
Yeah,
the Daniels, they were only married for who she thought he could be. She
Daniels
said
and
that,
Perlman,
like,
man.
so probably other than Beatty and McNulty, like I'm talking about showing true love on camera. That is probably one of the few. That's probably one of the few scenes that you see, a few
Maybe
relationships in the show that is a true love story.
yeah, definitely not Wee-Bey and the woman later on.
The hell no.
Uh, although D'Angelo and Chardine, they do have like
D'Angelo and
some nice.
Chardine, yeah,
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 I like them together.
yeah.
Daniels and Perlman too. They make a nice couple. Landsman
You're
even
right.
says
Yep,
that
you're right. You're
there are
right.
a
That's
few of
the
them.
other.
I'm just saying it's one of them. I guess
Yeah.
where it's like it feels kind of real, Um, and it's ironic, because they're criminals, but it's like they have this real passionate romance with each other. Um, so back to the homicide, right? Bunk comes in and McNulty starts like making fun of his salmon pink shirt. Uh, they have that kind of relationship with each other. And McNulty tells them about how he did a fronted follow with his kids, um, retelling the story. And like it's funny because Jimmy's telling the story. He thinks it's funny. They both think it's funny, but he's also like proud of his son for doing this. It's like, wow, he's really
My
good.
heart and blood.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, yeah, that's what he says. He's really like taken aback by that, and it shows like that's why I was saying before. It's like their way of bonding with each other in a way, in a strange way. Um, but Bunk like gives him a reality check when he walks away by saying like, dude, this is your kid. Why would you do that?
He said,
Um,
what do you say? Like, oh Lord, a family full of McNultys.
a family full of
Shit.
McNulty. Yeah. He said, your own family, Jimmy. Fuck shit. Uh, I love the scenes when Bunk just mutters like incomprehensibly. um, so yeah, that and so now we've established that we found the car that doesn't belong to Stringer Bell.
Yep.
It belongs to someone else. So he's obviously taking the car. He's trying to
Which is
find out.
something that they do, which is something
Yeah.
that Joe did because Marlo and them did it too. Or Marlo and
Mhm.
Chris. I think it was
Chris and
Chris.
Snoop,
Chris,
Chris and
Chris
Snoop.
and Snoop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They put in
Yeah.
another person's name. I'm not putting. I don't have anything in my name. And as we
Mhm.
know, Avon has nothing in his name. I mean, nothing. Like
Right.
not a house, not a until season 3 when he gets
Yeah.
out and they're like legitimizing everything and they have real legitimate money that they can show. And he put the real estate in Avon's name. But season 1,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
You got nothing on me. I don't got a license. I don't got a house, a car note, nothing that you can find my name on. Nothing.
Well, they established in the previous episode, like that's what makes him so effective, because he's able to just stay off the radar like that. It's about like not being seen or not flashing your money, um, staying kind of hidden. But yeah, so Bunk gives him a reality check. He kind of like shakes his head, like "you motherfucker" as he's walking away. Jimmy's like, "What?" Um, but okay, so now we have Wallace, who's like clearly damaged from this interaction, and he's helping one of the kids from the towers with his math homework. He's not understanding. Shows
Mm-hmm.
Wallace's role. It's like has all this responsibility, and he still has to like take care of these kids. He's like raising these kids,
Yeah.
helping them with their homework. Um, and Poot comes in, says, "Yo, Wallace, Tester's coming today," and he's not getting up. Oh, sorry, I'll stop impersonating them. And because I realize my impersonations are not great. And he's like, you gotta get over it, man. Like you're missing out on what's
Jack, I'm
happening.
gonna give you a script one day, and you're gonna act out all the characters for us.
We're
Do
gonna have what we're gonna do, Jesse. We're gonna have Jack as Wee-Bey.
oh,
Yeah, that's the one. And 30 minutes in, we want to say thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Wiretap Truths. We appreciate all the love, all the support. Jack, keep us going.
sounds good. So yeah, Poot realizes that Wallace is really damaged. He doesn't really know what to say. And then there's a funny scene where Wallace is helping this kid out with his math work. He's not
Mm-hmm.
understanding, so he's bringing it into his world, of trying to use drugs as a metaphor, which
Yep.
they do later on in season 4 also. And it shows like that's how it makes sense. That's how they would learn. In drug dealing, there is math involved, so you got to be quick
Yep.
on your feet to know that stuff.
He said, "How
Uh,
the fuck? How the fuck are you man? How the fuck you manage to keep the count right? You can't do the book problem.
right,
You
exactly.
know,
Which is
count me wrong,
ironic.
they'll fuck you up."
Yeah, which is funny too, because Wallace screwed up the count like in the previous you know what I mean? And
Yep.
he's like, God, this is
Yeah,
frustrating when you guys can't keep up the count properly. Uh,
It's such a scene
that
where
is
it's
fun.
like, okay, it's funny. It is a funny scene, to hear the kid, the little dialogue between him and Wallace. But it's also a very chilling and telling scene because it's
mhm.
like, damn, this kid who I don't know how old do y'all think that kid is? 11,
Yeah.
Yeah,
12, 10,
yeah,
maybe something like that. He's able to say like at a young age, hey, look, I know if I don't keep this count right, they will fuck me up.
yeah.
Like Bodie will fuck me up if I don't keep this count right. Like it's funny to hear him and Wallace go back and forth about it, but it's also very chilling and very like just I don't even know what the right
He
word
says it
is.
so matter of
Yeah,
factly.
I found it sad.
Yeah,
I was just saying that it was funny that we got introduced with Wallace fucking up the count.
Yeah.
right.
No, yeah, he that's true. He says it so like nonchalantly, you know what I mean? Just like very casually, and just like that's the reality. But yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
he fucked up the count. Now he's like he realized like this is frustrating. But yeah, it's how they keep like we talked about. We use like the fear of violence to keep people in line. That's how their organization runs.
Yeah. And it
Um,
flashes to Wallace too. He looks like when he says that it's almost like, damn, you're right, man. I fucking hate this game. Like, when he said that, when he said, count me on, they'll fuck you up, it flashes to Wallace. And
mhm.
Wallace is like, he gives this look where
Yes.
it's like, damn, this game is fucked up.
Yeah. No, he doesn't even say anything. He realized like it's pointless. It goes back to D'Angelo's speech of like every other trade goes on without people hurting each other. Um, yeah. So back to the dungeon, we got Sidner, Greggs, and Freeman hearing Stringer Bell. Um, and he's talking to, I believe it's Stink, about a big money deal that's happening where they're going to pass off the drug money to Damian Price, but they just call him Day
That
and Day. And so they realize, okay, wow, we have Stringer Bell on the phone
Mhm.
ordering this um, money laundering scheme. Like that's kind of like, okay, this builds on the case we're having. All the pieces matter, and if you have them on the phone, um, setting up this illegal activity, it's easy to just it's used. It's another piece of the puzzle, and it's used as evidence to get him, which kind of set it up. Um, the guy, what's his name? This is when we first see Little Man, who hands it over to Damien.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's kind of the deal between them. We haven't seen Little Man up until this episode, I believe, and
I mean, he only had what 8 words the whole
right,
season, kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. He has like a very specific identity, but yeah, you don't really hear anything from him. So then they realize, oh shit, we got to hustle. We got to get this now, because we got the guy with money that's being taken from a zone that's being designated as a drug zone. That we have the case right there. Um, so now Poot's talking to D'Angelo on the couch. He's saying like, look, Wallace is fucked up. He's asking for sandwich money. He's just like he's not getting out of bed. D'Angelo says, "All right, I'll talk to him." Um, yeah, and you realize like D'Angelo is like a good guy. He's a mentor figure. He relates to Wallace, so he sees that. So Cinder and Herc are like taking photos of Little Man.
I love
Um,
this scene too.
I love this scene too because like Herc's like giving all these hypotheticals, like what if he's not there? What if we're not there with the money in time? What if he doesn't have the money?
Hmm.
Like, what if we picked him up and like it's a different driver and not Damien? And then Cinder's like, what if your mother and father never fucked each other? That was like, damn, wow, he really Herc's just getting it from everyone, you
It just
know?
shows you how annoying Hurt could be without like
Yeah,
Carver next to
He
him.
said,
Even
"What?"
Carver gets a little annoyed by him
He
sometimes.
said, "What if your parents never met? Like, you wouldn't be here asking me these fucking questions."
yeah. Because it's like obviously, because it's like he's trying. You see that Cinder is trying to focus
Yeah,
too. It's like, is there anything more annoying than we're trying to focus on a task and some guy is just like asking dumb questions into your ear? It's just like, did you
Yeah.
just fuck off, dude? Like he doesn't have any like social awareness, or understanding of how to act in certain situations. And but I do feel bad for Herc here because that line did make him feel like shit and
yeah.
made him feel like, wow, nobody in this office kind of respects me right now.
And you know
Uh,
what? Too, as much as we talk about her, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I did like him in season 2 when he was
yeah,
undercover. When he was going undercover into
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah,
going to, I did love him in season 2.
with
Let
that
me take
fedora
that
and
back. Yeah,
oh man, season 2 is gonna be a blast. Um, no, I do. There are a lot that I like about Herc too. I don't want people to get the impression that I'm a Herc hater because I am pro Herc here. Um, So now we have the gang from before Wee-Bey, Stink, Savino, and they're like, hey, why don't we hang out with D'Angelo for the day? Why don't you get us some lunch with us? And then it's funny because he tells like Poot, he's like, all right, you're the man in charge. And Poot jumps on the couch like, I'm in
He
charge,
felt
like a
like a
look
child.
at me, look at me.
It's like when
I
your
got,
dad tells you like you're in charge when he goes to the grocery store. And you're like, yeah,
and I got a question. When they went on the beef run, if Poot is in charge, where was Bodie?
it's a good question.
Shouldn't he been there or like what?
Yeah, where was
Where's
Bodie
Bodie at?
this scene? That's true. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, what's Bodie's responsibility? Because
He's
Poop
over
was
the
there,
pit.
I always took him as the number two, like the
Yeah,
number. Yeah.
but Poop was there talking to him D about something, right?
Well, yeah, because Poot was. I think it was a thing of like Poot want to specifically meet with D'Angelo by himself, just the two
about
of.
Wallace.
I think just the two of them to like be like, hey, we need to talk about Wallace, and this wasn't like a work meeting. This was just like the two of them talking.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I
but
was just curious. I was like,
yeah, yeah, that's true. Where is
Bodie.
Bodie this whole scene?
But to
Uh,
answer your question, Jesse, Bodie is second in charge. Remember when they introduced D'Angelo and he was like, "You looking for Ronnie Moe?" So he was answering to Ronnie Moe first, and then D'Angelo and Ronnie switched places. So Bodie is second in command of the pick.
yeah, it makes sense. Bodie is kind of the guy you'd want in charge. Like
Yeah, right.
if I was taking like if I talked to all those people, I would get the sense that Bodie is the guy to run
Either
shit.
one. That's my boy. That's my boy.
Yeah,
Love Bodie. That's my boy.
Bodie's great. It shows that McNulty's got a good eye for talent. He's like he likes Bodie. There's a
Yeah.
connection there. Um, so now we're at the beef shop that they're getting sandwiches, and they're just chatting. It's a great scene too. It's a great little character scene. D'Angelo, how can you eat that with all that hot sauce on? And they're on lunch break, and
Mhm.
they congratulate Stinkum for getting 10 points on the package. It's hilarious because it's like, wow, Stinkum got like a great promotion and you're dead. You know what I mean? Like as soon as he gets this like great opportunity, he gets shot. Um and Yeah, so they say like we need to just run these people off. Wee-Bey says a funny line that he says we got to run these off-brand people off.
Yeah.
Um, then I thought that was funny. But then like they
So
say, you
that's
know,
Scar. The person they're running off is Scar and
Right.
somebody else.
that makes sense, right?
And
Um,
also, D'Angelo thought that the Stinkum points on the package should have went to him.
mhm,
Like he felt like that because when Orlando told him, he was like, Stink is getting some points on the package, and D'Angelo was like, so they gave that to Stink, huh? And then when they're talking about it in the beef shop, he's like, yeah, hey, it's your day, Stink day. I guess I'm
mhm.
happy for you, but it should really be me in that
Yeah,
position because Avon is my uncle, kind of thing.
right. He's playing it off, you know, he's being polite and everything, but
Right,
underneath it all, he knows he's like not satisfied with it, you know, but he can't say so because
right.
like, but yeah, so but then he kind of opens his mouth a little too much because they say like, hey, you might get some opportunity. He's like, well, actually, we have a connect coming through for this new Coke that a guy
Mm-hmm.
that Orlando knows, and it's a
I
great
was
moment where
talking.
they're like,
I was
Orlando.
talking to Leland about that. That's. I mean, this doesn't make sense to me. Again, with D'Angelo, like you should know, but I mean, you don't know that your uncle doesn't want you getting a connect from someone else, like
Not
Yeah.
to
not
run through
even
his.
just that, Jesse. Like you know who your uncle is. You know who Stringer is, first of all. Like, as you bring him money, you see, this room full of money. Okay, so you know that they launder this money. It goes through these legitimate businesses. Why would you ever, ever, ever think that, okay, I need to connect with the person that's on my uncle's club for a connect? Like, why would you ever think that that was the move? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah, unless the only way I kind of took it is that maybe D'Angelo doesn't like confrontation, and maybe he like kind of did this whole thing on purpose. Like if
I think
I
it
tell
was the thing of he was
him,
like trusting them. Like for a second, he was like, you know, we're just boys shooting the shit. Like he sees them, they invite him to lunch, so I think he's like, wow, I'm like an equal. You know what I mean? And he's like, I'm one of them, so I can tell them what's going on. He's like, I thought we were. He almost, I think he might have thought like, oh, we're just talking in confidence,
well,
but
I don't think they told Avon. I think
nah,
D'Angelo told Avon. We just didn't
yeah,
see it on
because they
screen.
said yeah, because they said you should run that by your
Talk to your
uncle.
uncle.
yes, yeah, that's
Yeah, we,
right. They
we just
say
don't
use
see the
them.
dialogue between D'Angelo telling his uncle, "Hey, I got this stuff with Orlando going on. What do you think about it?" We
Yeah.
never see the conversation.
Yeah,
They
But
probably told him because it's like I don't, you know what I mean? They're like because they immediately looked at each other like, what the
they
fuck?
like
Why?
Orlando. What?
Yeah.
What do
Why are
you
you getting
no,
this?
mean? Like, what are you
I
talking
think
about? Like,
I think they told D'Angelo to tell him, and D'Angelo did. I think
yeah,
D'Angelo was the one who ran it by,
I
Okay.
think so too.
because D didn't seem surprised.
Right.
Orlando like brushed him off at the party.
Yeah, that makes sense. Orlando gets a good ass whooping in this episode later
Oh
on
yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that. I
when we
caught
get
something I
there.
never caught
Uh,
in that scene. It's yeah, it's pretty telling. It's I will talk about it when we get there.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's where we leave off with that. Um, Now we follow up on the what they Greg's and Carver overheard before on the wire, and they pursued Damian Price as we saw in the previous episode, and they asked him to step out of the car. They found all this money. They say, "Hey, we're in this zone that's a designated drug zone." Boom, arrest made. Next scene.
And pause right there, Jack.
Yep.
Did they didn't arrest him at first, right? Because they didn't know what to charge him with. So like,
Right.
how? Come on, Jesse, help me out here. I'm trying to make it.
How did they bring him down? How did they book
How
him?
with no charge? If they didn't charge him with anything at first, and then they get there, and then they're asking Daniels, "Well, what do we charge here?" Well,
Hmm.
how'd you get him in the cop car then, or how? What did you tell him? Like, what's the? Hey, we found the money. Get in
Yeah.
the
Well,
car. Like,
yeah, I mean, also he doesn't seem like the brightest bulb, so like
no, he's not.
Right.
He's
they
not.
probably
Yeah,
didn't. They probably just said you're arrested. He's like, okay. Well,
you
they
know,
said you
that's
got
that's Ashley Larry.
unmarked
That's Ashley Larry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They said they probably said you got unmarked. I don't know. Yeah, that is weird.
He stole that guy's pizza.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's I think what they probably thought like this guy is an idiot. Yeah, we could take him in, but also it's like it's just the suspicion of it all. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we got you on the wire. You're here
Okay.
taking this money that was designated as a drug
Yeah.
dealing
Yeah. You're
zone.
right. You're
It's
right,
like
Jack.
don't the cop? There's a specific term for it where like if they have enough evidence without like if they can kind of just bring you in. But actually, I
Probable
Oh
think
yeah,
cause.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Probable
probable
cause.
cause, right? Yeah. How did I? That's obvious term. Why did I
Yeah.
not?
And
Probable cause. But you
45
still have
minutes
to make an
into,
arrest, though.
yeah, 45 minutes into, we just want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment, Wiretap Truths. We
Mm,
appreciate all of the fans. Jack, keep us going.
you got it. McNulty following up on the license plate that uh, his son Sean McNulty gave him. It. By the way, it would be funny if like Jimmy brought this all information and they're like, "How'd you find the license plate?" It's like, "Well, my 10-year-old son found," but it took him to like where he didn't expect because it's now and he's in this like very bougie, nice looking house in the middle of suburban, Americaville essentially,
Yep.
and he's like, "Where the hell am I?" Um, so he goes back to homicide. To his surprise, he sees Carver and Greg's there. Um, they're like, "What do you have?" He was like, "Well, he took $20,000 in cash out of the 221 building," and they followed him up. He's a legislative aide. We found out to Clay Davis, and then they tell Daniels. And Daniels is pretty happy about that. He goes in and immediately like he tries to put on that like friendly front of like, hey, the Orioles won last night, and
I
Damien's
don't know if
not
it was
budging.
more friendly than it is with fucking with him.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
I
what it
know this.
was. It was a faux friendly, like, hey, we're pretending like we're just chatting about baseball, but um, yeah, no, it's he's definitely like fucking with him, but to Damien's credit, he doesn't play any games. He's like, I need to have my lawyer
Give
on
me the
it.
lawyer.
Give me the
Lawyer.
lawyer.
Give me the lawyer.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
know shit about shit.
All
Give me the
right.
lawyer.
better
The
call
Wire
Levy.
showed me always say lawyer.
Lawyer,
Lawyer.
yeah. Um, but the money, this is where they realize, hey, the money can go to all kinds of places. And
It's real. It's
You
getting
follow the
real now
money, you
at
don't
this
know where
point.
you end up.
yeah, so he was driving for one of the politicians. He doesn't say shit. Uh, and he says if he wants to put a claim in with the city solicitor, he can, but you can keep the money for right now. And they think, all right, we got this case in the bag. This is going to be a real helping, you know, thing for us right now. Uh, but as we see later on, there's going to be a conflict of interest there. So,
Burrell was pissed.
yeah,
He was pissed.
this is one of the worst Burrell scenes in the whole show, in my opinion. I was so furious at him for this. Um, Now we're back at the Orlando's.
And hold that thought,
Yeah.
TJ. Quick question: shouldn't if Damien got roped up right, and they said they kind of said like, okay, you're in a drug zone. Shouldn't that have got back to Stringer or to
Mhm.
the Avon crew that he got roped up? Like, or am I tripping? Am I reading too much into that? Like, how did
What?
that not? I guess how did that not make it back to Stringer that he?
I think they do find out, don't they? Don't
I
they
don't think
acknowledge
so.
that?
I don't know. I don't know. Jesse, did you hear what we were saying?
For sure, it should have got. It should have definitely got back to Stringer. Yeah,
Right.
that's a good. That's a good point.
But
I
he
don't
kept the
know.
money
I
too.
don't
So
know.
maybe
Yeah.
not.
But
But
they acknowledge that. They say like, "Hey, we lost $20,000 in cash in that episode," don't they?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, they
They
acknowledge
said
that
that.
later on in the episode. Like, "Hey, the driver got caught, lost all that cash."
he kept the money. They gave the money back to him.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say Stringer acknowledges that like later on, or Avon and Stringer, they both like have that conversation where they say like, "Hey, we lost all this money."
Hmm. Okay.
I,
But
I think
Leland's saying
so.
the money wasn't lost because they gave it back to them.
Yeah, they gave it back.
Right.
So are we thinking? Are we thinking of the episode when he said we lost 4-5-0? We thinking that?
No,
I'm
I
trying to
I
remember where in the episode they were talking about. that they lost the 20,000. Oh, on the wire. You talking about with Lester, right?
Yeah, but don't they say?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that on the wire later, like, "Hey,
Yeah,
the guy got caught. We lost the money," because they don't give the money back until later on.
That's
You know,
yeah.
that's like a
that's
previous.
we're thinking two different scenes. That's the scene with Wee-Bey when Wee-Bey gets popped and they take his money and they're like,
Oh,
"Hey, we lost 22. We got hit by a
okay.
22."
Shit. Okay.
That's the money when they pop Wee-Bey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a different, and it might be the next episode
But this
actually.
money was never string. This money was already going to Clay Davis, so he doesn't have to acknowledge the loss of it.
Exactly, that's what I was
That's
about to
true.
say
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That's a good
Maybe
point.
that's
Yeah.
that's the little nugget. I just thought maybe
Because
because
then
he,
Clay Davis kept it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking
And
maybe
I
because he
guess
got
because
picked
Damien's
up.
not on their payroll, also, he's like he works for Clay Davis, kind
Yeah,
of. So it's
I was
like,
thinking because he got picked up, shouldn't
right,
that have tipped up? Maybe not though. I mean,
it could have hit their radar.
right.
Yeah,
yeah,
Maybe also they like to. I don't know exactly the reason why. I'm just theorizing. You know, maybe they like to keep their distance between the two of them. Um, but yeah, no, that's a good point. Like they probably should have found out about that. Um, yeah, I don't know. We will have to ask the fans that. Uh, so Avon and Stringer are back over at Orlando's, and Orlando himself comes up. He comes in all cocky and self assured, and Avon sets him straight. You know, he's like, "How you doing? You good? Because if you need more money," and he just starts throwing cash at him.
because all
Uh,
I do is fucking put money in your pocket.
right. And yeah, he just throws fat stacks of him. It's funny too how self assured Orlando is in this scene. You know, um, he says the last thing I'm for my clean name. The last thing I need is for my clean name to be dirtied up by you, which is a good point. Honestly, he's like, you have a very specific and important role, and it's very easy too, and you're fucking it up for all of us. So
and
in a way, he has,
there's nothing more demeaning than getting like berated in front of people you're in charge of.
What?
Yeah,
yes,
Like,
yeah,
how are we supposed to take you serious? Like as our boss, we just saw you get your ass
right.
kicked.
like
Well, that's
that's
the
And
what I'm saying, and they laugh at him
yep.
afterwards.
right,
Like,
And what I was about to touch on from earlier was, if you look right, it's it looks like it's Stringer that throws him out of the office, and then it's Avon who stomps on him. It's like the only
right.
time you see Stringer, violent, if you will, But I probably should rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure it looked like Stringer threw him out the office,
And you hear
and then
Avon's
Avon
voice
stomped on him.
too.
You know,
He says, you hear Avon say, "Do your fucking job." You
yep.
know. Yeah, no, it's a great point. There's very few things as emasculating as being like beaten up by in front of the people that you're in charge, especially when
well,
you're supposed
especially
to.
it's like strippers and they have to pay you like a certain
Yeah,
amount and stuff like that. It's
you're
like,
supposed to have like this respectful, like tough guy aura, and you're just getting your
You
ass
getting your
kicked
ass kicked and stomped
by.
on, like
Yeah, and just just getting humiliated like that. It very much reminded me of The Sopranos when Tony would always beat up
oh yeah, Georgie.
Georgie. It's kind of a similar situation because Georgie
Yeah,
was the
it
technically
is.
the clean owner, but of the Bada Bing String Club. But Tony always beat the shit out of him whenever he
I
was
think
bored
Wire and
or angry.
Sopranos probably have a lot in common.
Oh yeah,
if
but
you ask most people what the best show is of all time, usually it's like The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad. Like it's like
mm,
those
Yeah, yeah,
three. Sometimes I
yeah,
hear Game of Thrones, but like
right.
people didn't like how it ended.
right.
But
It's the holy trinity of TV
yeah,
shows.
it's usually those three. Like it's not a
Yeah,
lot of people that don't have one of those three in
oh
their
yeah.
top three. Like
Although the difference here, I guess, between Orlando and this show and George is Georgie like never deserved the way he was treated. Where in this case, it's like, yeah,
he
Orlando probably should
deserved it.
get beaten, but Orlando completely fucked up, and it was also his own. Nobody made him do what he did. He did
Yeah,
it
but
of his
this is
own
all
volition.
D'Angelo's fault too. D'Angelo could have been like, "Yo, I'm not interested."
Right,
D'Angelo
Yeah,
let shadows on his, like,
that's
right.
true too. But Orlando takes the brunt of the abuse, and it is his own fault. And it's like,
sure.
yeah, it's And then it's funny after this scene. Yeah, you see the strippers like laughing up a store. And they don't even stop what they're doing. You see Chardine though. She gives him a look of like she's the only one that's kind of horrified by what's
Like damn,
happened.
I feel for you, my boy. You just got your whole ass kicked. Like
Yeah. Whereas the other strippers are just like it's another day and the job,
Whatever.
and it kind of separates those two as characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now we're back to Daniel's talking to Burrell and another higher up whose name I'm not entirely
Who?
certain.
What is his damn name?
I know this guy though. I've seen him in a lot of
Oh gosh, what
episodes.
is his name? Lieutenant. Because they called him what is the Black Hand of Death or something.
Yeah,
Oh, what is his name? Fuck, I don't remember.
he's got a nice mustache, but I don't know his name per se. But yeah, he's one of those higher up characters, kind of like Forcer, where I didn't really know his name until I rewatched it with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they discuss like, hey, we got Damian Price. He's on the payroll of Senator Davis's office, taking all this money from drug dealers. This guy has a criminal history. And Burrell says, "Hey, you brought him on here for what charge?" And the charge he says is civil forfeiture. Um, where it's basically it's not like it's kind of a bullshit charge. It's basically a dispute between it's not an official charge. It's just that saying like this money is suspected of being an illegal activity, meaning well they're not officially there's no proof that it is, but essentially you're carrying around a large amount of cash that people
Mm-hmm.
think is from illegal sources. It's really a stretch in terms of a charge. It's not, you know what I
So,
mean? They don't have any real charge on him.
so I
uh
got a question, and I mean, I know just from watching We Own This City, and I promise you, Jack, me and Jesse are gonna get you to finish We Own This City.
yes, of
Um,
course.
so like, if somebody was to pull me over and I had 20,000 in cash, they could just take it and question it, and I have to go prove that this is my money. Is
I think
like,
so.
is that
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
definitely. I mean, that's what happens in season 4. Remember, like they Officer Walker steals that kid's money, and he's like, if you want it back, you need to like get a note from your parents. I mean, that is a
have your
kid, so
foster
it's
mom come
different.
down?
That is a kid, so it might be. But I think that's kind of one of the themes is that the cops can get away with a lot of shit, and it is like a bullshit charge when you think about it because there's no proof that is
Mhm.
illegal cash. They're just suspecting it of being illegal, so they can use that
And
as like a catch-all thing.
that's why I said We Own This City, Jack. Because whenever you watch it, you'll see like they rob drug dealers religiously. Like I'm
Oh yeah.
talking about religiously in Baltimore. Like I mean, yeah. You think that it's legal,
Hmm.
if this is really legal, go claim it. You know,
Yeah, and
but we
oftentimes they
know it's
can't.
not. So give us your money, and
Mhm.
if it's legal, then claim it, and then we'll deal with the consequences later.
Right.
But for now, I'm gonna take your money. I'm gonna take
And
your
the
money
cops
from you.
basically think of like, what are you going to do about it? Like, who do you think
Exactly.
who do you think the judge is going to believe in this situation?
Exactly.
So they can use that to his advantage. And it's funny because we own the city. It's like corrupt, scummy cops that do that shit. Here, it's pretty like honest enough, trustworthy guys like Daniels who's doing that for a greater cause of breaking down the Barksdale organization. But he's still using this kind of like cop loophole to hold Damian Price's money.
The only reason
True.
I asked that is I'm just thinking like there's been a few times
Well,
like in my older
Daniels took
businesses.
some money in the past also.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um there's been some times in my older businesses where like we had to do cash transactions, like we had to go to the bank and get cash, like when we bought trailers for our trucks and stuff, and it was in cash, like we were doing a cash sale. And I'm just thinking like, so if I had got pulled over here in Atlanta with that money, and a cop was like, "Yeah, we think this is illegal," they could have just taken it from me, like, and I'd had to go fight for that money, like kind of thing. That's kind of what made me ask that question, like.
Yeah. Um yeah, no, it's sure. It's like it's kind of a loophole, kind of a bullshit thing that they try to use to be able to just take money. Um and so, that's interesting that happened to you. So yeah, they take the from Daniels basically explains like we don't have a real charge, and Burrell is pissed because now he's saying you just have the money. So Burrell basically says like I gave you a lot, and now you're pulling all kinds of shit, and you're sticking your nose where it doesn't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and basically says like no, we Daniels kind of fights him. He's like no, we found this off of the wire, and Burrell says give him back his money. basically tells him like, you need to give this guy back this money that we know is illegal, because he works for a state senator, and
Yep.
shows how the politicians can get away with this kind of shit because they own the police force, especially here. It's one of the scenes in the show that shows this like explicit corruption, of politicians being able to buy their way out of trouble. And but then like Burrell makes a good point. It's like you kind of pulled like $20,000 out of this guy's pocket without a charge, but in the back of Burrell's mind, he knows it's illegal. He just doesn't want to like damage his career. It's all about like not pissing off the people in charge. And you see the shift of Daniels realizing like, wait a second, this isn't fair. This is, he's starting to see like what it was like being the ladder climber of success, and how that's kind of like not really what you want to do as a cop. You want to do honest police work.
Yeah.
I think that shows kind of the shift. Um, so yeah, they basically give it all back to Clay Davis. I'm sorry, Damian Price.
Damon Price. Yep.
Everyone's fucking pissed off.
And McNulty is pissed.
McNulty's pissed, and I love this scene too because
I
he's
do too. I highlighted this. I think I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're gonna say.
he's yelling at Daniels here, straight up just yelling at his boss,
Talking crazy.
and it's like he has every right to. If you take away the, I'm just turning the light on because I realize it's turning dark here. He has every right to, because we basically just gave money back that we know is illegal. And he says like, why would you be going up to the deputy?
Mm-hmm. He's
And
cussing him out too. Like he talking crazy.
he says like, why there hasn't been a complaint from the senator, so why would you pull this off of why would you just give this guy his money back? Because in reality, Davis would just let Damian Price eat the shit if
Of
it meant that
course.
he would just be like, all right,
What?
let this guy go to jail if I'm staying out of trouble. And then Burrell basically tells him, in the previous scene, to wrap it up like by the end of next Friday.
Yep.
He says, what am I supposed to tell him? And he says, like, you're doing your fucking job. Do you think the job is going to save you? Chain of command. That's all it has. And McNulty is like, this scene's amazing. I'm going by like a play-by-play because I really love this scene. But he's like, if you think it's about chain of command, you didn't go to the colonel, you didn't go to the major. Why the fuck is a lieutenant going all the way up to the deputy ops?
Snapping. He's cussing Daniels out.
Mm-hmm. And he's basically making he's kind of implying that, in my opinion, my guy I've seen is implying that Daniels isn't respected by the major, and the major is like overlooking him. And then Lieutenant's like, what are you trying to say? He's like, nothing. And then he says, you got the deputy's ear. What does he have on you?
He said, what does he have on you? Does he got something on you? How ballsy of you to ask him, well, what the fuck? Does he got something on you? Mm-hmm. Like the level of ballsiness in that scene right there is through the roof.
But see, there's more to it too, because McNulty knows he has something. Yeah,
exactly.
Because it's not like McNulty's just like
shooting the shit.
Like, what the fuck? He has something on you? He knows.
For him to ask it, it's just to ask it. Like, was so ballsy of him. Like,
oh yeah. But it's great because you kind of put him in his place here. It's one of those scenes where he really does.
I I like McNulty in this moment.
This moment, I'm gonna touch on something when we get to it, but this moment definitely took Daniels outside of his normal character. I'm gonna touch on it. I'm gonna touch on it when we get to the scene because it's something we pointed out like a few episodes ago. I'm gonna point something out to you when we get there. Like he took him outside of his body. Like he took him outside of his mind.
Well, he called him out on it when like nobody else. That's one of the great things about McNulty. He's willing to call characters out. And Daniels was angry, but he knows that it's true. He knows that what McNulty is saying is true, which is why it bothered him so much.
Yeah, as much as like I'm starting to like dislike McNulty on the rewatch, McNulty's he's the main star of the show, right? I mean,
He's
besides
for sure.
Baltimore for like without McNulty's, there's no case.
Nothing.
Without
Mhm.
There's nothing.
him pulling the strings he does, without him like challenging authority,
Yep.
they don't go to where they go to. Like McNulty is like the one of the best police or the most dedicated police on the show.
Which is
Uh,
why season 4 stands by itself
yeah,
because there is no McNulty. Like,
but
you know,
just rewatching it, it's just a lot of
I
characteristics.
rewatched season 1, episode 1 of our podcast. Like, I'm trying to rewatch all of our podcasts just to see, like, how we differ from episode to episode. And that's what you said, Jesse. You're like, he's like, yeah, my top 3, McNulty. That was like on the first
Yeah,
episode. You said that. Like, I was watching that the other day, and I was like, man, how things have changed since we started potting.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's true. Yeah, your opinions definitely shift through episodes. That's what's great about it, man. It's kind of like life, right? You know what I mean? It's like your opinions on people that change based on certain things
sure.
that they
Well,
do. And that's
The
what makes
Wire
it
is the
feel real to me.
greatest character study. I was watching a video on a 4 hour video on the Wire YouTube video, which was great actually, and they just kind of like they brought up how season 5 was one of the weakest because we don't get to know the newscasters. What do we know about
Mhm.
Alma? Do we know about Scott? Why don't we don't have no family scenes with them? I'm like, wow,
yeah. But because it's 10 episodes
because it's
to
10
end
episodes.
the greatest show ever. Like, it's like this all we got is 10 episodes. And that's tough to decrease your episode count season to season by 3 episodes. Like, I think
Sure.
some of the seasons were 12, some of them were 13, but
It's
never less
13,
than 12.
12, 12, and 13.
Right.
And then
Yeah,
10.
never less than 12. So to come down and end the show after a 2-year break, 3-year break with 10 episodes, it's like you and a whole new cast of characters. You're telling a whole new story, and they don't get that proper character ascension that we get to see other than the newsroom. We see them in the newsroom and how they progress through the newsroom. We don't know shit about nobody in the newsroom. Like, really. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know a little bit about Gus.
Yeah,
Gus,
that's the
yeah.
most. Yeah.
About
But because
Gus.
he's the star of the new, like,
Right.
he's one of the most underrated characters in the world. I
Yeah.
love Gus.
And we
season
know
5.
Alma has a boyfriend, but we never see
Mhm.
her like at a wine dinner or
No, we see him in bed with her when she's going to get the paper, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then we know he's not bigger than McNulty. McNulty said, hey,
Yeah.
is he bigger than me?
I mean,
or
we know a
what?
bit about Scott. Like, we don't know about Scott's personal life, but we know that
Nothing.
he's just a fucking lying piece of garbage.
Nothing. Look, isn't that what I said to you the other day, Jesse, about Scott? That's almost them exact words, Jack. Like,
What? Oh, that he's a lying piece of
man, he's
garbage.
a piece of shit. Jesse texted me when he finished season 5. He texted me, and I thought it was in the group. I didn't even catch it until later. And he was like, man, Templeton, I know you hate him, but he's got to be a good character. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's still a lying piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, he's great.
That's exactly what I text him. Like,
That's funny. No, he's a great character, but he's very hard to watch. But we'll definitely come across that later because there is a fucking rockin' party going on right now with Wee-Bey and Stinkum and Savino.
Fucking party.
You like that little segue I did right there?
This is I'm fucking disgusted by Wee-Bey, and this is why, like,
yeah.
it's
Oh
like,
yeah, this is one of the worst things that he's done.
Okay, go ahead.
Might be
I'll
the
let
worst
you.
actually.
I'll
No,
let you
go
explain
for
it.
it.
It was just so the girl's drugged up,
Mm.
drunk. He just like shoves her in the room, like she's like, I'm about to throw up. He's like, no, you're not.
Drunk then, like,
he like
already
stops
kind
her
of
from
messed
throwing up.
up.
So this is full blown rape, borderline murder. It is murder,
right?
And he doesn't let her throw up, right? I mean, she OD'd on. Either she OD'd, she could have choked on her own vomit. We don't know how she died. He doesn't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
Just fucking disgusting, man. Really, and then that's the crazy part that you actually end up liking Wee-Bey. But I mean, if Wee-Bey is a person, this is almost like you don't like his.
This is real life, yeah. Like, it's she was drugged up going into that room. Like, she was
Oh, she didn't
extremely.
even know she was going in the room. He just shoved her in there and just shoved her on the
You can
bed.
see like before he closes the door how she like almost falls on the bed. Like so when y'all are having and when y'all are intimate and y'all are doing whatever,
She
like
was passed
she,
out.
right, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
She sleep like or what? Like
He Cosby'd her pretty hard there, and like
It's-
he was, so- but let me provide context for the viewer. I mean, they already know, but I'll just narrate. So they yeah, he's D'Angelo comes into this party, and I get the sense that it's like the first time he's been invited to one of these parties that they throw.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy, man.
it
Everyone's
looks
down.
crazy.
It looks
It looks
crazy.
crazy.
Everyone's doing coke
Yep.
and smoking weed
Yep.
and like everyone's shirtless and grinding on each other, and there's all this hardcore rap being played and
Yeah. And
like
Jack, just 70 minutes in, we just want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment. We appreciate all the love, Wiretap Truths. We appreciate you
mm.
all. All right, Jack, keep going.
It's just it's what's thing that's funny was that Orlando was at the party. Like you just see Orlando is still hanging out. He's like defeated because he was beat up. He's like, I'll still hang out with you guys. Like he doesn't.
Yes.
He has no self respect. But yeah, so the scene that we're describing, Wee-Bey is grinding on this woman, and they start to get like really horny. But she's obviously drugged up and is unconscious,
Mhm.
unwilling to legally consent to anything. And yeah, it's a great description because he just falls on the bed. Like, not even like, I'm going to get, he just throws her unconscious corpse, well, soon to be corpse, her body on the bed. And he closes the door and takes advantage of her. It's rape. I mean, like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. He rapes her.
It's a really sickening scene. Like, and as many times as I've seen this show, like we all
Mm.
know, 1,600,000,000. I never like. I don't know. I guess I never broke it down to look at it like scene by scene. And I'm like, I'm sitting here rewatching this. And I'm like, she could not consent to what you're doing to her.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it always throws in that reality for us, right? As much as we
Hmm.
like Bodie, there's a chance that his bullet could have killed the little kid.
Right.
Right? Who's
It's
to
like at
say?
the end of the day, these guys are like
I,
murderers, and
I actually think that they left out the whose bullet it was, and I think they added a line where Bodie said,
it
"I
wasn't
don't,
us.
I don't think it was us. I don't think so." No, I think he said, "I don't think so." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He said it wasn't,
Because
but
Stringer
it
said he
could have.
shot the little kid, and he was like, "I don't think it was us."
I don't think so. Yeah, yeah.
He was like,
But
"But
it
the
could have
mother
been.
fools, they were shooting crazy. Like,
Yeah, but it could have
yeah,
been. It was a
it,
shootout.
it definitely could have been.
You know, and I think that's open. I think that's left to open there because we think like, yeah, I mean, we like Bodie, but Bodie could have killed a little kid. I mean, Wee-Bey has like some of the best lines coming up. You know, when he
Yep.
gets sentenced, he takes a hit for all them, like the loyalty in him.
That
Him
that
in prison is pretty funny.
right, right.
His love with the fishes, but
Yeah,
like, I mean, if we want to break down like Wee-Bey as a person, dude's a fucking scumbag, bro.
yeah. No,
Right.
that was
And I
terrible. That was terrible. It was terrible when
yeah.
I rewatched it, y'all. Like I couldn't even. I was like, damn. It never like really dawned on me that she's doped up before you have sex with her. Like she's
Mhm.
already overdosed pretty much. Like so
Yeah.
and
I
like
think
you
we
like
need a
I said, he
reality
didn't let
show.
her throw up. Like you what? So I don't know. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's
And he's
disgusting.
also like married and has a kid and everything, but that's almost like besides the point. The thing is, it's like I think it's good to have those reality checks with these characters, and the same thing that like The Sopranos had that too, where
Yeah,
it's like
where
he
Ralphie and
starts to
Kurt.
like these people, and
Yeah.
the show reminds him of like, look, even if you do you think they're entertaining or you can empathize at their core, a lot of these people are just they're psychopaths, and they're not good people at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
And you know
I
what,
mean that.
Jesse, to touch on what you said about Bodie, I think that was intentional that they didn't attach that bullet to Bodie. Like
Hmm.
because I
No,
think
that's what I'm. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying. That's
if
what,
they had, we would definitely look at him a whole lot differently. And the fans love Bodie.
that's what
Yeah.
I.
Like, so
That's what I mean. But I
that's a
think
spot on.
I think they also left it a little. They left it a
Open.
little open, so it could be. but I think they also added Bodie saying, "I don't think it was us because we don't want to think it was the Barksdale crew."
Right, right, facts. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And going back, touching on what you said about him taking advantage of that woman, what was always haunting to me was how like everyone else in the party just witnesses it happen and they don't even flinch or react. They just
Oh
treat
yeah,
it
they don't
part
well,
care.
of
he
they're just
wasn't
like,
the only
"Eh."
one that slept with her. Like,
Right.
you
They
know,
just were like, well, whatever. That's what happened. You know, they just
I think
continue carrying on.
I think the examiner, I think he said three different DNAs or secretors or something when they examined her body. So
Hmm.
it was three of them that
Yeah.
were taking turns on essentially this corpse. Like
Yeah.
that's just creepy. Yeah,
But
it's a
that's
creepy, it's a haunting scene. Like
but that's the brilliance of it too, because it's like it's not at all what you'd expect, right? You see a party, you think, oh, this is gonna be like a fun party, lighthearted vibe, and then it turns like this really dark, sinister turn. And that's
they
what's
put her in
great.
a
It's
rug. They put her in a
right.
rug, bro.
It's never goes where you expect it to, because the opposite happens often too, where it's like it's a really bleak thing, but they find humor in it. It's like they find it goes in such unexpected places, and it's like a party like this is the last place you'd expect it to take such a morbid plot turn there. um but yeah, and it's great too because it contrasts it so nice. You have all these people partying and getting fucked up and having sex, and then you get to like Daniel's in his robe, like drinking whiskey. Just a complete contrast,
Yep,
the
that's what
very
I was
next
saying. I
scene.
was going to touch on Jack. That exactly. We and I'm waiting for Jesse. I think he had to do something with his phone, but we
Okay.
never see Daniels drink. But you can tell
Oh
my boy
yeah.
is stressed out.
Yeah, he's having like an old, like
Scotch,
some
is it Scotch?
scotch. Yeah, an old scotch glass with his robe. His
Straight, no chaser, no ice.
Yeah. You just see him and he's sitting on a chair and he has that like thousand yard stare, like he's in a bad place mentally.
Yep.
And it's like I know like they break up, but he really does have like a great wife, how they're able to like have these conversations and
Yep.
they truly like care about each other's business and give like real advice that's like not even like what you'd want to hear but what they has to hear,
Yeah.
and he's able to call him out on stuff, and like she really is like honest and is like a good
Because she
wife.
believes in him. She
Yeah.
believes like the person that he turned into into season 3, season 4, season 5. That's who she always wanted him to be. That's who she always thought he could be in terms of his ambition. You know,
Mhm.
so we never got to see Daniels at his peak
Right.
with who pushed him. I don't want to say she pushed him, but who thought he could be the person he turned out
Yeah.
to be. You know,
I don't think Daniel
I heard you, Leland. By the way, the
I
drinking.
thought so. I thought so. Yeah.
I think Daniel's like looking back on it, he didn't really appreciate what she provided for him, the sense of security and stability. In a way, it's like, and actually, we'll touch on that later, where Bunk says like, "You're no good for people, Jimmy." It's like his lifestyle kind of rubs off on Daniel's and Greg's and
Mhm.
Bunk to where, and obviously they should be held accountable for their own decisions, but just like the energy he gives off, they kind of just start to make these kinds of bad decisions as
Got
well.
my boy Daniels drinking. Man, Nolte got him
Yeah.
so stressed out. Jesse, he drinking scotch straight. He ain't even
Mm.
had no ice in the cup.
Yeah. Not even like a Heineken or anything. Yeah, he's straight up Scotch.
Straight scotch. Man, Nolte
Uh
got him stressed, man. But he was
yeah.
right because he was right. Man, Nolte
He
was right.
called yeah,
He was
he
right.
called him out in a way that made him like honestly reflect.
But
And
that's the fun. The funny part is, I think most like non-drinkers, like if you don't drink beer and stuff, like well,
Mhm.
from what I've heard, is like I'll have a glass of scotch before I go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah, or like a glass of wine right before. Um yeah, it's a very mature adult drink. I don't know, Jesse, what was your drink of choice? You know.
everything.
I hear that, man. All right. But yeah, so uh Barla gives him great advice. He basically saying like you follow the money, you don't know where this is gonna go. Like we picked
Yep.
up a legislative aide, tomorrow we could picking up a politician. And he kind of reveals that like he's scared of them finding out about his criminal history, because he tells him like what McNulty asked, and like she kind of just holds his hands in solace there,
And
you
she said,
know.
"What'd you say?" You know,
It's like,
and he ain't even have nothing. He ain't have nothing to say. But no way that he knows that McNulty knows what he knows. Like he don't.
right.
I know he don't know that. He wouldn't
He
even.
just knows there's dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he knew that McNulty knew that, we wouldn't have half of the dialogue from Daniels and
Yeah.
McNulty. He'd be probably kissing McNulty's feet, like if he
Oh
knew,
yeah.
like, damn, he knew I took all this money. And I was watching our shorts the other day about that specific thing. Like, man, this man really take hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, or what? Like, I really wish we
See,
had
that's
some
what
more
bothers me
insight.
about Daniels. He walks around like he's better than everybody, and like he doesn't have a past.
Right.
Yeah,
Big dirt. Like, and I mean, the number that we talked about in the previous episodes, like they said, was a couple 100,000 in assets. Now that could be cars, houses, life insurance policies. You can't really see that, but like it's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff,
Hmm.
kind of thing. So,
that's crazy.
how much money did you take, bro? I mean, I don't
Right.
know. I don't know.
Yeah. That's yeah, we never find out what Daniels did. Um D'Angelo comes back with the liquor. They sent him out. So it shows they don't truly respect him as their own because they treat him as the errand boy at the party. Like, why don't you go get some more liquor for everyone else? He comes back. The whole party's dead. Everyone's just hanging out, almost like having a sleepover. They're watching like NBA highlights on
They're
Yeah,
watching the draft
the Knicks.
because he said the done fucked up
Oh
the draft.
right, they're watching the draft. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he
And
said the Knicks done fucked up the draft, and
yeah, that's a
Yep.
good point. Um, yeah, the Knicks done fucked up their drafts again, and he
we
notices that
want to
that
be technical. We could find out what month it is because we could we could
yeah.
do
Well,
the
this was
draft.
2002, so um, yeah, maybe the '01 draft.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He sees the woman that's dead, and it's just continuing with our conversation. He just like Wee-Bey says like I done fucked her silly, and they know that she's well, D'Angelo points out that she's dead, and their first thing to say is like the greedy bitch snorted up all the coke. Like there's no real remorse or anything or any sense of like guilt. It's just like, well, she's dead. It's so just like nonchalant, and yeah, you're right, it's very haunting. uh this is where D'Angelo sees like the dehumanizing aspect of their organization.
Yeah, it fucks with him for sure. The
Yeah.
dead body is, and Jesse, like we touched on, I guess because it's a female, maybe he's a little bit shocked. But I mean, bro, you seen a dead body before you kill somebody,
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, right. Yeah,
So I don't know if it's because she was passed out. Maybe that's what
Yeah.
kind of shocked him. But bro, you a murderer. You
Right.
seen a dead
Well,
body
yeah.
before?
I
This
think
one
it's just
was.
like
I
it's
think this
so.
one was more of a civilian than any other one. I mean, like she was a stripper who did drugs, but like I don't
Mhm.
think like the person who shot him was because they had a gun on him,
Right, right,
and the other person he saw was a stick up boy. So
right.
it's like this is probably like the first time he saw a civilian. You know.
Yeah.
But I think it was more so their reaction to it, because
Oh
if they
well, he
had
saw
been like
gang.
horrified,
He saw
I think
gang.
he was angry by their like lack of caring at all.
Yeah, they lack
Because
of
Like
they
he
didn't know.
expected it.
He's the one that pointed out that she was dead.
Right, but
So
he
he
just
like,
like
wait a minute. Y'all know this girl dead back here? Like,
yeah.
the
I think
fuck?
yeah, when they just basically respond by like shrugging their shoulders, that gives them a sense of like this is
Fuck the silly. What can I
right.
say? No, my boy. You fucked the dead, is what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
She dead. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's
oh,
it's a pretty fucked up scene, man. McNulty and Greggs go back to Judge Phelan with their bad news of, hey, this case is being shut down. This is one of the best Phelan scenes because he
yeah.
chewed Burrell out on the line. And it's like Phelan's like a pain in the ass to McNulty a lot of times, but it shows, hey, he relies on him because he calls Burrell and is like, hey, I ordered 60 days on this wiretap. I'm going to get my full 60 days. And if you don't do that, you're going to be subpoenaed to appear before the First District Baltimore Court on Monday
You'll be
morning.
in
Like,
contempt.
Yeah, he big dicked him pretty hard in this scene. It was kind of a
Period.
great, you know.
Oh, and he said, "Best regards to your wife too, and the
Yeah,
kids."
it's just like
Yeah,
it might as well just been like, and go fuck your mother. You know, it just
you
he
know,
just could have
like
added like it was yeah. Then he says like, who's your daddy? It was like,
Yeah.
and that's what's true. It's so unexpected. You don't expect like Phelan to really like call him out because you know we haven't seen him like that before, and you see like,
he
hey,
said
this
it.
guy has
He said it
power.
on
This
everybody.
is the thing. This is what I say why McNulty's unappreciative. You know, he turns. I mean, when Phelan could finally not do anymore, he kind of just turns his back on him, and it's like, yo, look at all the stuff he's done for
Yeah,
you.
he
But
really
you know
did
what
help him
though,
out
Jesse?
here. Yeah,
You know what though? He did do a lot for McNulty, but at the
yeah.
same time, at the end of the season, everybody's mind is so fucked up because Kima got shot, bro. I don't think anybody is like thinking soundly almost. Like everybody is fucked up behind Kima being in the hospital shot.
Mm,
And so McNulty's a loose cannon. He snaps on Rhonda, he snaps on the FBI. Like
right.
he's not even locked in.
Yeah,
Like everybody's fucked up behind Kima. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's a
absolutely.
good point.
so him snapping on the judge at the end when it's like, look, we're trying to hold back. We're almost at the end. Just do this for me. You know, everybody's on pins and needles because Kima's in the hospital. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Mhm.
If
that's a
Kima
good
wouldn't have
point.
got shot, would he have snapped on the judge? Maybe. But I'll chalk it up to, all right, Kima's in the hospital. Everybody's fucked up mentally. You know, it's
Right.
not about the brass anymore. It's like we want to take down these bad guys because they got Kima in the hospital. You know,
But
regardless
McNulty
of what
at
it
the end
takes.
of McNulty at the end of the scene knows like he's going to get he gives a look like he knows this is going to fall back on him because in the very next scene he's back at that same apartment checking out the license plate that was designated by driven by Stringer Bell. He gets a call from Daniels basically blaming him. He says like I had nothing to do with that. The judge
Ask
found
Kima.
it. And Kima defends him here. In the next scene, he's like, actually, this time it was the judge. It shows like they're starting to bond with each other.
Yeah.
And Daniels doesn't want to get chewed out, but he wants his case to continue all the same.
You know what, Jack and Jesse? I just because of the energy that Burrell gave Daniels for picking up the bag man, I just wish we could have heard that conversation too. After the case got put back on, like he said the deputy was mad as the devil. I wish we
Mm.
could have heard him on the phone cussing Daniels out or something like that. Like, because he said he was pissed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that would have been fun. Have like a deleted scene of um Burrell just being furious with that. Because we don't, yeah, we see Burrell yell, but yeah, we never seen him like fuming in that way. But it also just shows how all the shit rolls downhill, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
know that Burrell is gonna berate Daniels. Now Daniels has to blame McNulty. It's like nobody takes responsibility for their decisions. Um, but we also have um, Carver and her continuing to study, and like Herc doesn't even know the terminology and they have a scene of like um if a female if a female officer reports sexual harassment, what should you do? And he says like report the guy, then take her home and fuck her silly. Like he just doesn't take this shit seriously at all. And I guess we'll cover that scene right now because it's very short. Um, but when they're taking the tests, it's like it's so relatable to anyone who's ever taken the test. I feel like we've all been Carver at one point. It's like fuck, you know what I mean? And and you're just stressed out because you feel that clock ticking,
He's
and
like, my pencil broke, or my pencil lost its point. And Herc's like, all the girls say so.
and everyone just laughs and it's like because they're all just like dudes in their mid-20s and
Yeah.
there's such that like macho energy, you know what I mean? So it's like, and meanwhile Herc just is like not a care in the world just doing this. um it's really just this episode just shows the differences in between them and starts to show that like rift in their relationship. um but also McNulty finally finds Stringer Bell driving in the car and goes to a community college where he's like, where the fuck? He's just walking around like, where the fuck am I? Where is he taking me? This guy is taking economics classes at a community college, and
So let me get this straight. So Stringer is in school. This man is a kingpin going for a degree. The class is Intro to Macroeconomics.
I don't know if he's going for a degree. I think he's
You
just
think
taking
it's
a
just the
course.
Yeah,
class and just taking a course
I think
In,
so
to
too.
in community colleges, you could take a course of stuff you're interested in.
Right. Yeah, I agree with
okay.
Jesse on this one. What I love about this scene, right, is like college or education is like the ultimate equalizer, right? It's like you take a class, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or what you've done. To the professors and to the course, it's like you're all the same. All that matters is how you do on that class. And all of his power and his rank as this drug kingpin just kind of goes away. In a way, he kind of wants that. He doesn't want that associated with him. And being in this class allows him to feel like a
Normal.
regular person where he doesn't have this like identity and responsibility. It gives him like a sense of freedom where he could live a life that he wasn't able to live beforehand. So
He
it's like,
probably spells better than McNulty.
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. He's a smart
Hey,
guy, he's very smart.
I was just joking because of Phelan making fun of McNulty's spelling.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
And
I figured. And an hour and a half in, we just want to say please like, share, subscribe, comment. We
Yeah.
appreciate all the love. Wiretap Truths. All right, Jack, go ahead and finish us out.
You got it. So yeah, um, uh, Stringer uses the adage of the inelastic versus elastic product here, um, and like the inelastic product of you guys know what that means. I don't need to explain it. If
Mhm.
you want, fucking Google it. Okay, the inelastic product means that the value doesn't decrease no matter the price, whereas the elastic product, the value decreases or increases based on the price. And he uses that same knowledge to talk to his employees at the print shop, and he wants to run it like a real business. And he's like, "You're acting like a bunch of fucking gangsters over here." He's like, "I want to run this like a real, not no front, not no bullshit." You get the sense that it's almost like if it was up to him, he would just run a print shop. Like
this
that's
is this is the beginning of Stringer's
Legitimacy.
vision of
right.
going legit.
He
Yep.
doesn't. Yeah.
Stringer wants to be legit. You know,
Hmm.
the drug dealing is just a means to an end for him.
I just want to
Like
put the money up. I just
he
want to
would rather
put the money up.
Yeah.
String would rather
Um.
own property and
Yeah.
rent it, and, you know.
Because he's not violent, you said earlier. He's not violent by nature. He does it because that's the world he was brought up in, and that's he's good at it because he's a big dude. He's strong, but he's his power relies more on his brains than his brawn, which is separates him from Avon strategically, and it's also what made him such an effective member of the organization. It's why he was able to be at the top of it. It's because he's smart. And so, yeah, this what's so great about one of the things that's so great about this episode is it is the first time we actually see what Stringer Bell is about,
Hmm.
See,
and
but
what
this
makes him
this
different.
could be ultimately Stringer's downfall. Always looking for the almost too legit. You know,
Oh,
to like it ends up in season 3. He's playing the away games, right?
he'll play. Yeah, yeah, it's
I love
true.
that scene too, by the way,
Avon
with
calls him
Slim
out.
and Avon and Stringer. Yeah, I love that scene. That's
Mm,
yeah, I love that scene too.
but now I would want to talk about one of the most intense scenes in the whole season, because Wee-Bey and Stinkum are talking about running off these people. Scar from the territory. They want to get this corner to be able to sell this new product.
And he said,
Uh,
"Bird be loving this shit right
yeah,
here."
yeah. And he's like, actually, Bird's pretty happy he's not there, and Bird feels pretty lucky that he's not there because they go out. And the scene is also filmed so well. It's like there's so little. There might be no artificial light in this entire scene, which is
Mm-mm.
incredible, except for maybe the street lamps. But I don't even consider that's I don't consider that artificial light because it's not used by like lighting equipment. It's all just the surroundings. Very little artificial light. Like they use like handheld cameras to make it feel more gritty, especially when Wee-Bey gets shot. It's all
Mhm.
from like his perspective, You know, you see the camera go back. It feels like almost like first person perspective.
Yep. It's great camera work because it's showing Omar, Wee-Bey. Like it's
Yeah.
that scene is shot beautifully. Like,
Oh yeah. You feel disoriented in a way, kind of putting you in Wee-Bey's perspective.
yeah.
Um, he kills Stinkum,
Hey now,
and uh, and he does that whistle, and he's like, "Oh shit!" He's around the. He's like, he says the line. He says, "Yo, Bay, here's a lesson. You come at the king, you best not miss."
you best not
And
miss, man.
it's amazing. That's where,
Legendary scene.
yeah,
So
and
this
that's
is
where
like,
the. Go ahead,
I'm
Jess.
sorry. No, I
Yeah,
was
go.
gonna say this is where I think we see like this is where Omar's a badass, right? Like
Yeah.
Sure, no, what?
because we heard, yeah, but I'm saying we've heard it. We all like get the joke of, oh, he's not scared of nobody. But this is where we
This
see
is
like he's levels above, right?
Right.
so.
Like he takes one of their top tier people out. He
So
does it
check
in a
this out.
corner. You don't see him coming. He's hid in a corner.
Check this
A
out.
ghost.
So as we know, Omar likes to sit, watch, and wait before he strikes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think so? And y'all maybe Jack, this is maybe you caught this. Do we see Omar after they light his stuff on fire, or is this the first time we see him since then?
This is the first time we see him since then.
So he's following them then, right? Or
Yeah.
no? He followed them from when they set
Yeah.
his van on fire. Do y'all is that a
Mm-hmm.
good assumption?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
He slowly bides his time, and then waits for the perfect moment to just
He was
fucking
in the
like a lion.
shadows, like, and
Yeah.
then the little subtle, hey now,
Hey
hey
now.
Stinkum, hey now, and it was over with, and then a shootout on the corner with Wee-Bey. Like, I mean, the scene was just,
Oh yeah.
he wasn't ducking, Omar wasn't ducking or nothing. Like, he knew, like, okay, I'm not ducking you shooting at me. You're gonna have to fall before I duck. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was. That scene it's a legendary
And
scene.
Stinkum is not like a major character, but he's not a minor character neither.
Yeah.
No,
So it was like
I
the
think, and
first
I
time.
think we talked about this too a few episodes ago. I think he's third, maybe in command,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
something like
Third or
that.
fourth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they do the slow shot of him. He just got the package. He just got points on the package. So
Mhm.
this is somebody big in the Barksdale
Yeah.
crew. They took
Right.
out. And he
And
almost took out Wee-Bey too.
yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's why.
Wee-Bey's a fearless motherfucker, but you could see Wee-Bey was genuinely scared in that scene.
I think Wee-Bey is just like, what the fuck is the matter with this guy? He's whistling. Like,
He's
what
like
Yeah.
a
is he
He
whistling?
psycho.
was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was like,
Well,
what
Jesse brings up a great point because, like, in the previous, the scene where he robs the Barksdale organization with Brandon, the previous episode,
mm-hmm.
it's like that was badass too. But he's taking out low level guys. Like these are your
Yeah.
top men that he just takes out easily. You know, really establishes him as a character here. Um,
And also too, Jack, not to cut you off. So like, how we were asking a few episodes ago about like if Omar, how they know Omar and stuff like that. He addresses Wee-Bey like by names of Ayo Bay. So
mhm.
watching this scene again, it does make me think, okay, maybe Avon didn't know who Omar was, but yeah, Wee-Bey and them probably know who this man is. They probably
Right.
know who Omar is because he addressed him by name like Ayo Bay.
Well, they talk about Omar in the basketball court scene. They're like,
Right, right.
Bird used to bunk with him.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, I don't know if
Mhm.
he ever met Babe face to face, but they know of each other.
And
But
when he was asking them about who they thought could have done Brandon, he said, "I heard it could have been Wee-Bey." Like, so he knows them, for
Right.
sure. So just a little something I wanted to mention.
well, Omar could get a whiff a lot of your people a whole lot quicker than you could get a whiff of his.
Come on now,
Yeah.
Marlo.
And
Come
I
on
think
now,
that is
Marlo.
because I think what the power is, Omar is just going by himself, whereas the Barksdale crew might feel like they're more protected and they might be more careless, or they don't try as hard because there's more of you. And when there's more of you, you feel that sense of security. Whereas Omar lives life on the edge. It's only him. And like
Yep,
his ragtag grew a few people. So he has to be constantly on alert every
yep.
single second of the day.
And
He
Chris
doesn't
said
get
that
a
to Marlo too. He said, like, hey, Avon and them turned this city upside down trying to catch this man. Like,
Mhm.
we need to think about this kind of thing.
Yeah. And so this was an amazing Omar scene. And the whole thing's on the wire because we hear Greg's and Freeman hearing like, hey, this guy was um Wee-Bey got shot, Stinkum's dead, and they say it was Omar, and they're like, fuck, we're about to use Omar on the
On
witness on
trial.
Gant
Come
case.
on now.
This completely fucks it up for us.
Come on now.
Um now now Avon's pissed. He's like, you guys, this is priority number one. $10,000 on his head. One of you motherfuckers needs to step it up. Um, yeah. So he's basically saying like, everyone's main only priority right now is to
It's Omar.
fucking get this guy. Now, is this scene? This wasn't. Was this also Orlando's? Yeah, I guess this was right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, I guess the lighting was a little different, but here's where we have the difference between uh
Avon and Stringer.
Avon and Stringer because
Good
Stringer,
catch. I wrote that down. Good
yeah,
catch. Yeah.
Stringer is like, we need to
Foreshadowing.
lay low for a little while,
Yep.
just like wait it out and then say like, oh, we want to make a truce. Like there's been enough bloodshed. And then when we catch him like feeling sympathetic or being nicer, like he thinks that he's secure, then you kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But Avon is all about like, no, I gotta be like
Not
Mr.
trying to wait.
Macho. I gotta be all fucking big man on campus right here, and I need
It's
to send all my energy out there.
it's a quick foreshadowing to their difference in running the organization. Just that little scene right there, to where it's like, no, I'm not trying to wait. And Stringer
Yeah.
is like, maybe we should wait, kind
Mhm.
of thing. Just and I think that's the first time in the season that they even remotely disagreed with each other. Like, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Um, you
Well,
know,
Stringer's thinking like, I think Stringer's also thinking like, look, this guy killed Stinkum and injured Wee-Bey by himself. Like, we don't know what this guy's capable of.
Wee-Bey
Why
is
are
their top muscle, without question. He
right?
is the top muscle in that crew. Like so now we down because of Omar. We down three people in our muscle. Like we don't
Mhm.
have no Bird, Stinkum's gone, and we don't have Wee-Bey right now. He on crutches. He can't shoot.
Yeah.
He can't shoot shit with crutches. Like so.
We
Yeah.
need to like pull, maybe we should pull back a little bit. And Avon's like so offended by that. He's like, no, we need to get this guy right now. And that sets up for future episodes, the rift between Omar and the Barksdale crew. Um, but the cops want to talk to Omar, so McNulty sticks his card in the burnt car to get him. And he's like, uh, I love the way McNulty's saying he's like, we all appreciate your admire do it by yourself nature, but
Enthusiasm,
like we need you to hang back. And then like he's saying like you can't kill anybody until this case is over.
pretty much.
And Omar makes a good point. He's like, look, there's a bounty on my head. And
Five
he's like, what
figures.
am I supposed to do? It's kill or be killed. Um, and says like, why don't you just not kill anybody for the foreseeable future until this case is done? And he leaves, and McNulty's like, Lester, are we still cops? Like, we told the guy, like, hey, we know you killed this man. Just don't, just chill out for a little bit. It's kind of amazing, like, what they say there. Um, but all this shit has affected D'Angelo. We're at the last few scenes here. D'Angelo is being questioned by Chardine. What happened to one of the strippers? D'Angelo is pretending like he doesn't know what happened. Um, he's trying to avoid her, and he's saying, I don't think this whole lifestyle is right for me. That's when we know that he's been feeling this for a while, but that's the first time he vocalizes this. And he has a great woman by his side, so it shows that he feels secure. There's almost like an exit. He feels like, hey, maybe there's a way out of this stuff.
But you
Uh,
know what, too, Jack? He's also dishonestly saying to her, like, it might not be for me. I mean, I don't know if he helped them do it, but they definitely just wrapped up the girl in a rug, the stripper.
mm,
So it's like,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know if this life is for me. I just wrapped up this girl in a rug and threw her in the
Right.
dumpster. I don't know if he was part of it, but he was there. He was definitely
Yeah.
there and noticed she was dead. So like, you
I mean,
know,
he doesn't really have much option here, though. What's he
Right.
gonna
He
say?
has
Like,
to like help
yo,
her.
right.
he,
He's just talking about
yo,
like the future. He's like, dude, this it might have been like that was the straw that broke the camel's like back. Like this is too fucking much for me right
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's true. He's like, I just wrapped up a dead strip. He's like, I'm done with that. But yeah, this is the first time he vocalizes like, hey, maybe this life isn't good for me. Um, but now that Omar is killing,
I just think the actor's so good, man. Larry Gillard Jr. is
yo,
so.
he's fantastic. Has that vulnerability that's rare. You know what I mean? It's easy
I
to
think he
act tough. It's harder to act like vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
like honestly, I think he's
right.
the best acting in season one. Over Wood Harris, over
Yeah.
Idris, over
That's
like
tough. That's
Yeah.
tough. Because he shows some really really raw emotion for
Right.
sure. And like we mentioned a few episodes ago, his relationship with Wallace on screen, how just because we know that Wallace doesn't have anything or anybody but really D'Angelo, like that's what makes him so well renowned and well revered is his relationship with Wallace. He
Hmm.
treats him so like in high praise. He talks highly about him. He talks life into
Right.
him. Like it's what makes him likable. Like I get
Yeah.
all this stuff why people don't like him. I get it. If you want to look at it from that perspective, but on the other side, he's a phenomenal individual. Outside of the drug game, with how he is with Wallace, it's just it's great acting, and he lashes his stringer at the end of the season. About
Yeah.
Wallace, it's heartbreaking almost.
I think he's a great character. I like him. I
Yeah,
don't think he's not a bad guy. Like he's
right,
not like he's not an evil. He's like a kid that wasn't given many options, and this is the life that he was raised in,
right,
and so he's just trying to make the best of a situation that he's given.
right.
Um, Now we're at the homicide unit. Look, the case of um,
Stinkum.
Stinkum being shot was picked up by Ray Cole. One of like, it's funny because he's such a soft guy as like a detective. He's not really good at his job. He seems like a nice guy, but he's like the last person you'd want to catch the case because he has no idea what's happening. He has no idea who's behind any of the killings. Bunk asks him later on. He's like, "So how's that case looking?" He's like, "Well, I think it was uh, the ex-boyfriend of the woman that the victim was dating." He's like, "What the fuck? Like, you have no idea what you're talking about, man." Um, and so McNulty basically tells Bunk, like, "Hey, this kind of hurts our case,
Yeah.
and if you put Omar as the shooter, we're not going to be able to use him as to testify as the Gant case. So we're in a little bit of a pickle. So I
Mm-hmm.
need you to talk to Cole and say, like, hey, I need you to push this case aside until we're able to use Omar as a witness, and then you could have your killer." But he knows that that's not going to be able to work because if they give up Omar as a killer, then the entire Barksdale case falls down. So Bunk is like doing a huge favor, one that he doesn't agree with or feel comfortable doing to McNulty. Um, Bunk reluctantly agrees, and then we see them in the bar chopping it over. And Bunk's like, he looked at me like a damn puppy, and you know, he says like, I'll carry it. He says, fuck it. Uh, Bunk notices some woman eyeing him. He's like, tell my wife that I caught a late case tonight. And he says, like,
Mm-hmm.
I helped you out tonight, didn't I? And yeah, this is a real like scumbag Bunk episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that in a little bit, but the last part of this was Kima realizing like, hey, maybe Omar lied about being maybe this raving psychopathic murderer lied to me. Like,
To
and then
put
like
word in.
Lester was like, yeah, maybe she did. He's like, maybe I fucked up, but he gives her like a great. He's like acts like a father figure to her,
Yep.
and he's like, look,
I'm
it's
about
all
to
about
touch on something too that you said that.
Yeah, it's all about intuition. And he says, like, look at all these strippers that work for Orlando's club. Which
Mhm.
one would you want to use as to help out the case as a witness? And he picks Chardine, and he's
With
like,
them
"What?"
big ass
Yeah,
glasses.
the big glass, and he just says like it's the eyes,
Yeah.
and there he's right about that. He says like it's not a science, it's an art. Um,
So in season 4, do you remember Jack when Kima was looking? She was trying to figure out who it was. One of the cases, and she was Lester told the main suspect. He was like, "Why don't you just ask him?" You know, he was talking to her in season 4 about interrogation. You know, kind of
mhm.
thing, similar to what he did just now. You know, giving her just little tidbits of information. You know, about interrogation and what to expect. Um,
Yeah, yeah, no, I do. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Um, and yeah, no, and it seems like that role of being like a mentor kind of grew over the years. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like the more he got to know her, the more information that he was willing to give towards her, you know what I mean, the more he was allowing her to learn, because he saw something. He's like, this woman is like a real police just like me. So there's a great like character moment between the two. Now the last scene of here is McNulty's being called. For once it wasn't McNulty out drinking and sleeping around, it was Bunk. And he was called. It's funny because he's like, "How the hell did you get my number?" And it's like, "Well, they probably found his card and Bunk's wallet." And he goes over there. Bunk's in like a bathrobe. He lit all of his clothes on fire.
looking crazy.
Just look, yeah, and like is still smoking a cigar, sitting on the bathroom floor. Just a great drunk actor. Like they're both great at playing drunk people. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I love the way he says that. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "You lit your clothes on fire." He's like, "I'm trying to destroy the evidence." Um, and he says like he doesn't want the smell of it to occur. Um,
Pussy.
and he says like Bunk. So he takes him back to his house.
Oh yeah, and then
Um,
hold up, and then he says, "Girl gave me the pussy, tried to take my shoes."
oh yeah, yeah. He thinks like she's trying to steal my shoes. Who's he's still in like that cop mode almost. He takes her back to his place, has him sleep in the bunk bed that's used for his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, like, "You're no good for people, Jimmy." Before we get to that, though, we do see Omar looking at Orlando as realizing Omar is plotting his next move.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that last scene was kind of very sad because it's like, drunk words are like sober truths, they always
For
say. So
sure.
it's like he meant what he said there.
Yep.
And
For
that was
sure.
kind of haunting. And I don't think that's fair, to be honest. I was like on Jimmy's, I thought that was like a dick thing to say. It's like Jimmy just
For,
helped you out, you
yeah,
know?
from Bunk's perspective, Jimmy's never wronged him. Like I think
Right.
that was just for the sake of the show. You know, he's never. I don't think he ever did Bunk wrong that we saw on
No.
camera. You
It was
know.
more just like, hey, like I'm just reflecting. I'm just speaking out of my ass. But what he
Yeah,
said, it obviously hit Jimmy pretty hard there.
it did.
You
Yeah, no,
know,
it did.
A-
It made him think.
yeah, and definitely foreshadows later events. It's kind of like a sad ending to the
Yeah,
to the episode, to a great episode. I mean, this was
phenomenal.
maybe actually probably my favorite episode so far of the season. Um, yeah, I loved it.
Legendary. Yep. 12 out of 10.
Yeah,
Legendary episode. Legendary.
yeah, absolutely. D'Angelo, standout character.
Yep.
So is Omar too in this episode. He's probably the best. Everyone did great. Uh, Mr. Leland, any final words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you all. Thank you again, Jack, doing a phenomenal job of being
Oh
our
yeah,
narrator. It's unbelievable. We want to say thank you to all the fans again. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Wiretap Truths. We will be reaching out to a lot of the people in the Facebook groups. That's where we'll kind of post our questions and what we have next. And we do have some really, really interesting concepts that we want to do with you all, and you all will be seeing that soon once we finalize them and once we figure out how we're going to incorporate other people into our podcast. But it's we've got some phenomenal concepts and ideas to interact with you all, so you all just bear with us. Jack, again, Jesse had to run, but we thank you all. Wiretap Truths, and we are signing out.
Signing out. Have a great week. See you later.